Almost 2 years ago, this town, this main street, was completely submerged underwater. Slowly, the recovery effort goes on, and signs of light are returning here to the place they call Neon.
People lost lives, they lost their homes, infrastructure was destroyed. It was a serious event.
In this small town, the roads were turned to rivers. In the immediate aftermath of the flood, the only concern was survival.
How do we keep people alive? How do we get them reconnected to the power grid?
Jeff Hawkins is a resident of Fleming Neon in eastern Kentucky. Photos show Jeff cleaning up a storefront after water swallowed up this community in July 2022.
Folks who live here are resilient, they have grit, and we really want to look at it as a catalyst to drive us forward, to reinvent what this community can be.
Jeff and his wife Cheryl are playing a small part as they have now rebuilt their coffee shop and event space. They call it Neon Lights. The idea is to create something that can shine in eastern Kentucky. It's a place that for decades relied on coal mining for economic growth. But going forward, Jeff says that's not an option. The death of the coal industry and the poverty felt by many in this region have been realities experienced long before the flood.
So a disaster points out the vulnerability of a community. People could look at Fleming Neon and say, you can't turn that place around. You can't make that a vibrant community where people have a good quality of life. And all that does for me and other people who live in this community is make us mad and say, well, we're going to do it in spite of that.
A sign inside their shop on the main street marks how high the water rose in the flood. The question now, can this community rise, rebuild, and create a better future for generations to come?
We have a choice. If you're not careful, you begin to buy into the narrative that you are less than. So it's important for us that we own our own story, because we have to shift the narrative away from, you can't do that, or you're not capable of doing that, or you have to live somewhere else. We have to prove what's possible. We have to show examples of something that can be done in places that people will say that it can't be.
In Fleming Neon, Kentucky, Mark Irons, EWTN News in Depth.